Hello and welcome to a live Popped Culture on Deprogram with Keri Smith. I am your host, Keri. I'm here with my co-host, Mystery Chris, the man with the silky voice behind his
Hi.
avatar.
Hey
Hello.
there. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I can't there was somebody I was speaking with this past weekend and I spoke with a lot of people, so I can't remember who. But we were talking about how we were talking about a woman who has a really sexy voice and who is behind an avatar and or a really unique and catchy voice. And it was sort of like we were talking about how when people can't see your face and they were relying just on the voice, they pay extra attention to it. Do you think that's the case?
Yes, I think that. I've always wondered too, like, is there a correlation between like certain types of voices and hotness? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like if there was, maybe it's that people who are good looking have a little bit more confidence because they know they're good looking, and maybe that comes through the way they speak. Because normally, like when I hear a lady and I hear her talking, I'm like, I bet she's pretty hot, and I look her up, and usually she's pretty attractive.
Oh, and
That's
she
my theory.
speaks like she's attractive. That's your
Yeah,
theory?
yeah, it's my theory.
Yeah. I was reading a lot about the psychology behind how people respond to voices recently because there was this podcast. Well, there's this true crime podcast. Part of the what I've recently learned this term, the innocence fraud movement, which is these people who are trying to get murderers' uh, convictions overturned. And I'm not saying that innocent people are not convicted and that some of those people deserve to have people working on their behalf. Some probably do. But there are other cases like the recent Adnan Syed case where I'm like, that guy is guilty of sin. I can't believe you guys just spent all these years not only working to get him out of prison for murder, but also to demonize his victims and to kind of make a martyr out of him. Anyway, the woman who was his advocate, Rabia Chaudhry, I believe her name is, she has a new podcast out and her co-host is some Broadway person, Ellen something, and their first episode. So they're going to spend their whole podcast advocating on behalf of half of people who've been convicted. And the first episode was about Scott Peterson. Remember?
I remember that guy. What's he up
Remember
to?
that guy
Yeah.
in prison for murdering his pregnant wife? That's what he's up to.
Oh,
He's
okay.
also appealing and Rabia and they have to come up with content for this podcast, right? So even if you're a person who leans towards the side of like, yeah, there's tons of innocent people convicted and you still have to wouldn't you have to admit that they're likely going to be advocating on behalf of some actually guilty people at some point. First case, Scott Peterson, and I was listening to it. This is a long build up to Rabia has a even though I think she's a con artist and a fraud who gets murderers out of prison. She has a great voice. She has a good radio voice. I could listen to her, and I listened to that Scott Peterson episode. But her co-host Ellen, the one from Broadway, she has it's almost impossible. It's painful to listen, and because she not only has that higher pitched voice, which studies show most people, men and women, have trouble listening to that, but she also does a lot of upspeak, which mostly women do that more than men. Do you know what I'm talking about? Upspeak.
No, give me an example.
It's when you're talking and all of your statements sound like questions. Do you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. And so I was reading these studies. I was trying to figure out the science behind it because I posted about this Scott Peterson podcast, how they're trying to get him out of prison. And that Ellen chick from Broadway came hard after me and was making fun of my hats and I mean
What?
all the low hanging
That
fruit, right? And like whatever, make fun of my hats, I don't
heathen.
care. But she was like sending her people. She must have posted about me 4 or 5 times, and I just replied and said, "Well, actually, I did listen to your Scott Peterson episode, and you made me question some things, and so I'm going to do some more reading. But it was really hard to listen to your episode, not because of Rabia, who hasn't a great voice, but your voice is really difficult to sit through. Just being honest. And then some of her fans were piling on, like, what does that mean? I'm like, well, I mean, she does a lot of upspeak. It's really hard. And so I went and was reading about it and listening, like trying to figure out why is it that people have a psychological aversion to that higher pitched voice and also the upspeak. And I posted some links for this fan of hers who then accused me of being internally misogynistic and sexist and was like, well, if you don't like her upspeak, then you're just a sexist. Like,
Wait, but they knew you were a woman, and they
they know
still.
I'm a woman. Yeah. They said it was just prejudice. They always fall back on that. If
I'm
there's
surprised
this
they didn't throw in racist.
Yeah,
She's
this
probably
woman's
white, right?
she's white,
Yeah,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. I mean, they're gonna call you sexist, and they might as well just call you racist too.
Yeah.
Just throw
But
everything
it
in there.
they did just yeah, if she had been black, oh, they would have had a field day.
Hmm.
But no, she was white. It's funny how they always go back to that. It's gotta be it can't just be that on average people find this kind of voice harder to listen to um for any reason other than sexism. Like they always go back to it must be sexism, it must be racism, it must be this. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna say something. It's gonna sound sexist, but I watch a little bit of sports, football, and everything. I don't like female announcers. I'm sorry,
You
because I want
you're
that
not
deep
alone.
masculine voice because football and sports in general is simulated warfare. It's not real warfare, but it's simulated. We gotta, get our jollies out somehow. So we watch these goofy teams, people wearing spandex, tackling each other and fighting over tiny little ball. It sounds very homoerotic, but it kind of is. But but that's what people tune into. They want to kind of feel that masculine energy. And so many of these female commentators just, hey, this is no, that doesn't do anything. I'm
The
just,
chat's agreeing with you. I'm with Chris on this one. Actually, those studies I was reading agree with you as well because again, not because people just don't want to listen to women, it's because women more often than men have that higher pitched voice. This is why psychopaths and narcissists like Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos try
oh
to
yeah,
fake having a deeper voice. And in reading these studies, I came across several articles that said that a lot of times famous female politicians, when they hire vocal coaches, they teach them how to speak at a lower register because people report in studies that they find the lower voice more trustworthy and they would rather listen to it. And like you said, you'd rather listen to a sports. And so then you get people like, can I do my Elizabeth Holmes impression? She's like,
yes, do it.
so what we're doing here at Theranos is we just need a drop of blood. We take one drop of blood and then she's talking like this to her first, like, well, ignore that. I didn't mean like there's that one interview where she gets caught speaking in her
Yeah,
natural voice, which is higher, and then she just has to go back into this one.
she's got crazy eyes. How do people not see that coming? I
Right.
judge a book by its cover. When I see crazy eyes, I go, "This person's crazy." I'm
Yeah.
always right.
Oh, usually, probably always right. Those eyes. Yeah. There are several,
Crazy eyes.
as Josh Slocum says on the Disaffected podcast, like, there are several red flags, and any one of those red flags may not mean something, in my opinion, but a lot of them clustered together. The crazy eyes being one of them. Sometimes the multicolored, brightly colored hair. There's different flags, and you put them all together and sort of like, stay away from that person. Half of the head shaved, and the other
Mhm.
half not. Like any of those sort of, it's like a bird and how they put out their colors for mating. This is who I am.
Oh, you should have been Elizabeth Holmes for Halloween. Did you even dress
I
up?
could. Well, okay, so let me tell you about my weekend. And hi,
Yes.
CJ. CJ's in the chat, says, Keri, you're freaking awesome. Hope you had a smooth trip home. Thank you, sir. Thanks for the super chat. You guys are freaking awesome. I forgot to say at the beginning of the show, we do have a Patreon. We have a subscribe star if you want to support the show and you don't like to give super chats. We also have we just got YouTube memberships approved last week or the week before. I'm losing track of time. So Thank you very much for that. There's my announcement that I forgot to make. And I just wanted to say hi to Fealty, who's in the chat. Filthy Thoughts. Filthy Thoughts is, he says, is the Theranos court case still happening? I'm not sure. I know she was found guilty. Last I read, she was found guilty of something, and I think she was awaiting sentencing, but I'm not. We should somebody look that up for us and tell us because I'm not sure. Um, but Fealty Thoughts is someone I got to hang out with this weekend. He's an amazing, just human being. First of all, who's overcome a lot. He shared his story at the content house, so I don't feel like I'm speaking out of turn, just sharing a part of it. He lost hundreds of pounds, 100 pounds, or something crazy, some crazy accomplishment, and just a very inspiring dude. He does a lot of work for Chrissy Mayer's channel and editing and whatnot, and had a lot of fun hanging out with you, Fealty. It was very nice to meet you.
Yeah,
So,
I saw some of that content house, specifically looking for moments where you popped up, and saw you got to chat with Vic.
oh, Vic. Okay.
Yeah,
So, yes. So, this house, first of all, thank you to Chrissy Mayer and the filing cabinet Frank and to Compound Media for putting this together. So, I got to go to Orlando. This was the second content house. I was at the one of the Poconos, the first one they did, which was so much fun. So, they said, we're doing Florida. And I'm like, yes, I want to go. And thank you for having me. It's really original and fun and just hard to put into words and chaotic, and there's there's everything from silly debauchery happening to deep meaningful conversations. They bring together all different types of podcasters and I guess you would say, well, some people, there's some adult film stars, there's comedians, there's whatever. Mike Harlow, what are you? I'm kidding, podcaster. My friend Mike Harlow came, which was the best. I was so happy he came to this one. And anyway, got to hang out with a bunch of these folks and meet some new people like Filthy. Vic, how do you say his last name?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that.
Montepulciano. No, that's not it. But
Mignon.
he, I knew you would know who he is, though.
Yeah, I
Hey,
know it
Mike
is.
is here. I
Yeah,
said his
you.
name and he
Hey, Mike.
appeared. Hello, lovely human. Um,
Yeah, I saw you're talking about Star Trek Continues, and you're
yes,
like, I bet my mystery friend has seen it. I'm like, hell yeah, I've seen it. You know me, Keri. Come
I knew you've seen it.
on.
So he played Captain Kirk in, what was that called?
Star Trek Continues.
I knew you would know.
Yeah.
And I got to meet him, and before we were on camera together, I talked to him downstairs. Excuse me. I didn't know his whole story. I just knew the broad strokes. He got canceled. He had somewhat of a Me Too moment. He's this very popular voice actor and actor, and for 20 years have been doing a, a lot of anime and voiceover and popular franchises, I guess. And then he had this whole cancellation kind of happen to him. And so downstairs, off camera, we were talking about it, and we sort of started talking about faith and just a surprise. You know, when you have those just surprising conversations where you're like, this is much deeper than I thought this conversation was going to be. I have a
Yeah.
lot of those for some reason. And so we were like, let's go on camera and talk about it a little bit. Anyway, I hope he was just lovely. He's an excellent karaoke singer. And I hope to get to have him on. He said he would come on for an interview. So I'll get his full story of what happened to him. But you Star Trek people know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about the rest of the weekend. So you said you went to met up with the Geeks and Gamers guys and Chrissy and the whole people in the content house. So
Oh man, yeah, I saw. Okay, so some of my favorite people, I didn't get to talk to you that much, but some of my favorite returning people who I would love to have on the show at some point, and some of my audience, especially maybe some of the more conservative people, might be like, I don't know, why is she doing that? But I'm friends with all kinds of people, and yes, I am friends with some adult film stars, and so one of those is Leanne Starr. I don't know if you would call her film star. Anyway, just a very sexy human being. But also a very big-hearted human being and very smart and wise and does all this stuff behind the scenes that you would have no idea. And I wanted to talk to her about this on camera and we didn't get a chance. But she does a lot of work to get against sexual exploitation of minors, including sting operations, and used to be all over Backpage before it got taken down, just looking for underage people who are being exploited, like works to get kids out of it. And I mean, the amount of stuff, even while we were there, that weekend, she was on the phone dealing with like trying to help get some kid to a safe house. Isn't that crazy? It's like something out of a movie. I'm like, what are you doing? Okay, I'm just texting my friend about like what we're gonna have for dinner. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you're over here working to get this kid to safety. I felt like somebody needs to hear about all the work that you're doing. And and yeah, like I would love to have her on the show. Who else? Gigi Dior was there, also very deep, like human being. Just love talking with her. Um, and she is now being sued by who's that clothing brand? Ladies know, Christian Dior. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm
Is there a
transitioning.
lady in the chat who knows? It's some clothing brand? I guess they're perfume. They're huge. I think it's Christian Dior. Anyway, they're trying to come after her now, even though like she had trademarked her name for adult films and stuff. And uh you know that just sucks. She's in a shitty situation right now. But anyway, Mikey's like, I got you, Christian Dior. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Plus Leanne is absolutely pretty. Yes, she is a beautiful lady. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm so tired. The thing about the content house. Oh, and then let me tell you this. Thursday night. So Thursday night we went to a comedy show at the Improv with all the comedians of the compound who were there. So it was Anthony Cumia, who's just hilarious off camera as well, just cracking you up the whole time. Just I think Chrissy called him effortlessly funny, which is true. So it was with Anthony Cumia, Gino Bisconti, Lila Hart, who's on Deprogrammed a lot, Chrissy, of course, and Keanu Thompson, and I think that's all. And so I just want to say something about that. It was so fun to be in a room with people laughing and not not caring about all of the woke religion rules about what words you can and can't say in the pursuit of humor, right? And the closer was Gino Bisconti, who I've done an interview with. If you haven't seen it, please go check out the deprogrammed interview with Gino. It was one of my favorite ones that I've done. His set was, now if he hears this, he's going to get a big head, but his set was amazing. His closing set. He he was doing stupid jokes, which he would be the first to call them stupid. He did call them stupid from stage. Stupid jokes. And then wrapped inside of them was this beautiful, poignant message about humor being an antidote to evil. That's how I interpreted it. It was beautiful. It was about humor and free speech, and he put it all in this hilarious, silly package, and it was comedic genius to watch that. That's the kind of comedy that I'm like, that is a skillful performer who can make this point without being preachy and have you laughing, because the whole time he's delivering it, he's saying all the taboo words. He's like pointing to audience members. This guy's, you know, a retard, which you're not supposed to say, right? And he keeps coming, and the guy's dying laughing, like, "Ha, you're calling me a retard. This lady's a whore, right? You're not supposed to say." And she's laughing every time he comes back to her and calls her that. He's using all the taboo words. I'm not going to say the others, and our video will come down.
Do it.
No, but while he's doing that, yeah, look, Fealty says Gino blew me away with his set. He's such an Italian warm magnanimous. I can never say that.
Magnanimous.
Magnanimous and funny. The timing was amazing. I definitely sent to him live on stream the next morning. Haha. Yes. Mike says, I was offended. I wasn't the one he was calling these things. Anyway, that was a talented comedian. So that was Thursday night. And then Content House started right after that. And it's a 48-hour stream. And so people are just coming on and having conversations. And Oh, Alex Stein, I didn't mention him. He was there. Who else? Uh, anyway, I'm blanking. There were some people from last time and some new people, and it was just fun. And at the end of it, Sunday, I went. It was the same weekend that Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic Friday Night Tights were doing their meetups, so I got to go to those, and that was just. There were some people probably in the chat who I got to meet, talk with. Uh, um, just I love it. I love it so much. I love what they're building. I think Gary and Jeremy, Ryan, those guys they have their finger on the pulse of all that is good right now in pop culture and what people are looking for and looking to get out of pop culture, which is this sense of community. And I know Gary hates that word, but this sense of fellowship and just goodwill towards each other. And people, I was asking people there, like, where'd you come from? Because only a fourth of them were based in Florida. People had come for this meetup and the weekends events around Geeks and Gamers and Friday Night Tights and Drunk 3PO, and everyone was doing stuff. People had come from Michigan, Ohio, California, um, Tokyo, New Zealand. Okay,
Dang.
that's amazing. Like, just all over, and everyone is just puts a smile on your face talking to everyone, and it just, I don't know, I can't explain it. They're building something so beautiful, and I loved meeting everyone. Oh, and one of the ladies I met, a lot of the people I met, they're like, hey, I've seen you on Friday Night Tights, I like, or and some of them are like, oh, I watched you programmed. But the one that really made me smile that I wanna tell the knitters about was this woman and her husband, and the woman was like, "Hey, I know you from Politically Incorrect Knitters." I can't wait to tell the knitting ladies about that.
Small knitting world. Wow.
Right. I was like, "How cool, and you're here at this." Her husband's probably in the Geeks and Gamers Fellowship, she's in the Knitting Fellowship. I'm like, "This is amazing."
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, yeah, Amy's here, 2 sisters and some yarn. Yes, that was amazing, and I met actually a couple of knitters, and Therese says, "Wow, yeah. Yeah, I met a couple of knitters," but that was the funniest one because she was like she knew the show name and everything. "Oh, I watch Politically Incorrect Knitters." I'm like, "Awesome."
Yeah.
Somebody says, "So I guess this is a lean white pill stream." Yes, that's what we should name it. It should be lean white pill because, well, I just returned from this trip and I'm a little tired and also low on just, sometimes you're low and sometimes you're high. And so I was thinking, I just need to talk to my friend, Mystery Chris, and you're going to carry the show and pick me up. You guys are going to, I
It's
don't know if
all on
it's
my shoulders.
pick me up.
No
Let's get it
pressure.
going. You know, sometimes like we had this show scheduled for last night, but I couldn't do it because as soon as I got back, well, we had Halloween, which I'll tell you about in a second. And I want to hear about your Halloween. We had Halloween, and then yesterday all day I had a long day because we were shooting for some of the scenes for for Anthony's new music video. So that was anyway. What? How was your Halloween? Pick me up.
Well, I did. I'm kind of retired from dressing up. Uh, Even though I always love dressing up, so I didn't really do any of that. I did catch up on a lot of movies. So I watched Thor. That sucked.
Okay. Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, that sucked. I watched Nope, the Jordan Peele movie, which was okay. It's not great, but
Wait a minute. I hadn't even heard of this one. Nope.
you haven't heard of Nope?
No.
You both
Nope.
say
I
nope. Yeah.
haven't. Is it
Yeah.
is it is I
Most
love
people are
him.
disappointed, I think.
Key and
But so
Peele Key and Peele, I love him, he's a genius, but
yeah.
his movies, I'm sort of like,
Yeah, Us sucked. I hated Us. Get Out. I
us.
liked Get Out. But I think a lot of people were more looking for some kind of social commentary. And there is commentary in there, but it has more to do with like Hollywood and spectating and, what being on camera and that kind of lifestyle does to people. So it's less about, race or anything that's, in the headlines these days. And so I think a lot of people are disappointed because it didn't quite have that kind of commentary or
That's
narrative in it.
that's what they wanted.
A lot of people want that. Yes. Yes. That's what they want. So yeah, that was all right. I did see Top Gun 2.
Did
I
you like
liked that
it?
a lot. Yeah, it was great. It was really impressive because I knew that Tom Cruise did all the stunts. I didn't know that all the supporting cast were also flying their own jets, which
Oh, I
is
didn't know that either.
yeah, that's crazy. Like I'm like I would have taken that jet. I don't care how much you pay me. I'm not getting that thing.
Wow, that's even more impressive. I enjoyed that movie. I just felt that's a very feel good movie. That's the what I
Hmm.
want pop culture to return to in terms in the film space anyway. Just something just fun and that it does have a message, but you really have to think about what the message is because that's not the primary goal. The message is not the primary goal. It's just to be entertaining. But the message, of course, is eternal. It's something. It's a universal thing: loyalty, brotherhood, camaraderie, those kind of things, strength,
Right.
perseverance. It's not a. The message is not. There's this thing called male privilege and toxic masculinity. It's not like an ideological message.
And I was always impressed because Tom Cruise, without spoiling anything, uh, he's kind of a father figure to one of the characters, and the character is a boy. Which normally in most of these movies these days, I don't know if you noticed, but most of the time, whenever someone is either a actual father to a character or they're mentoring someone, it's usually a girl. Not that I'm, have something inherent against girls and women or anything, but it's just this weird pattern. You keep seeing just all of these younger proteges always being women being paired up either with older men or older women,
Yes,
and it gets kind of tiring. I'm like, so it was nice. It's nice to see some more masculine energy in
right.
films like
A
Top Gun
man
2.
mentoring a younger man.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I also saw the new Halloween movie. Uh,
Oh, what did you think of it? I've heard mixed reviews. Of
I didn't
course,
like it.
fighting words. Mike Harlow's in the chat. I think he really
No,
loved
Mike,
it.
you liked it.
But
I don't know how to talk. I don't. Go ahead, sir.
I also heard some bad things about it. So why didn't you like it?
Well, I'm trying to explain it. I don't want to spoil anything, but I, I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to do something a little bit different, but it ended up kind of making Michael Myers a second rate character in his own movie, his own trilogy,
Okay.
and it just wasn't compelling,
Okay.
and it didn't work for me. Like if they had done some of those things earlier, then yeah, I can understand that. But to me, I go into these Halloween movies not expecting to see something crazy different. I mean, because most of these Halloween movies are the same. There's not that much different. It's just
You're
some guy going
tuning
around
in
stabbing
for
people.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
that's what and so because people were complaining about the last one that came out, and I thought it was okay. I mean, just going around stabbing people, that's what people tune in to watch. And so them
I would
trying to
love
do
to
something.
I would love to see your reviews of the Halloween movies, like on IMDb Pro. It's Mystery Chris, like A plus, guy going around stabbing people. That's what I tuned in for. A
Yeah.
plus.
Black person died second this time. That is a major improvement from the last movie. Uh, but yeah, but yeah, it just didn't work for me, and so that was disappointing. What else? I think that's most of the movies I've watched.
Harlow says I'm the only person who liked Halloween Ends. And Stunt Brat, hello, Stunt Brat says I can't stand Tom Cruise. You know what? I know
Yeah.
I can't stand him usually either. I don't know, but this film I was able to turn that off. It
Well, but
it was
that.
good. Like usually the reason I don't like him is that I can't forget that he's Tom Cruise. But this time maybe that didn't matter. Maybe that played into enjoying it because it's his character from way back when. I don't know.
But he's had a pretty good track record, at least in the last few years, of movies. And I think he's had such a very huge involvement in the writing and production of these movies. And so he does have some integrity to him. And I appreciate that about him, even though some of his other views, like outside of film industry, a little out there for
Little
me.
whack.
Yeah, but yeah, lately, I don't know if you've seen this, but the interview he did, like, I don't know, 15 years ago with, I think, Matt Lauer, it resurfaced, where he was talking about prescription antidepressants and how damaging they were. And I remember at the time, everyone's going, "Oh, Tom Cruise being crazy. Look how crazy he is. All the Scientology made him crazy about
Yeah.
pharmaceuticals." And now people are like, yeah, he was right about
He was
that.
kinda right about that, I will agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
So,
yeah. Hmm. But, yes, what happened was 2 Sisters and Some Yarn, thank you for modding. You guys give it up for 2 Sisters. She says that was right after his couch Oprah
right.
event, and I think I tied the 2 together in my memory of just him being a crazy person on the couch and talking about antidepressants, but he's right. He was right about antidepressants. Um, can I say hello quickly to where is she? I here it is. Lissa K. She says, "Hey, I'll just stopping by to say hi." Lissa K is one of the knitters who was at the Geeks and Gamers meetup. I got to see her. She was there all weekend, but I got to see her at the meetup in person, got to meet her for the first time. I just loved meeting people in person from the chat, from Twitter, what have you. And she brought me a Dolly Parton t-shirt. And I wanted to say thank you for the shirt because I got stuck in Orlando an extra night, but I wasn't able to get my luggage back because they had put us on the plane. We boarded everything and then they made us get off the plane and then we couldn't get our luggage back and had to spend the night there. And thank goodness I had that Dolly Parton t-shirt in my bag, my carry-on bag. So thank you so much.
Oh, that reminds me. I watched the Elvis movie. Have you seen that?
Oh, okay, so I wanna see that one, and I've heard such good things. What did you think of it?
It was all right. The style was interesting, but I thought the movie was all right. And
You don't sound very passionately mo moved by it. Maybe it was
you know,
maybe
uh,
this is good that you're deflating my balloon a bit, and then I'll go into
you'll
it with
probably
no
like it. It's most people tend to like it and stuff. And again, it's not like I disliked it. I just was like, okay.
eh.
Yeah.
So, someone in the chat pointed out that Alan says, "Chris, come on, you have a Starfleet uniform."
I did. Oh, can I tell you? Speaking of Starfleet uniform, can I tell you the year Halloween died?
When?
Okay, so this was when I was in junior high. I was dressed as a Vulcan, a black Vulcan, of course, and I went up to this woman's door and I rang the doorbell. And she goes, "Ah, you look so cute." And I was like, "Yeah, trick or treat." And so as she's about to give me some candy, this pickup truck turns around the corner. A bunch of dudes, teenagers, I assume, wearing masks, carrying 2x4s, jump off, start beating the crap out of like kids. I turn to the woman thinking she's going to let me in for protection. She slams the door in my face. I'm like, "You bitch." And so I hide up behind a bush while these
Wait,
teenagers are going around beating people.
did this really happen?
Yes.
This sounds like you're in Back to the Future or something.
No, no, this happened.
This is awful.
Yeah. And so they beat my friends and then they get in a truck and drive off. So I hightail it to my friend's house, which is closest. And we end up calling the police. The police come, they put me in the back of the car, and we go around looking for these people. Didn't find them, but I always thought how weird it must be for people to see this cop car going around the neighborhood with this little black kid dressed up as a Vulcan sitting in the back of a police car, thinking, "What did he do? There goes the neighborhood." Oh.
Black Vulcans, am I right? When you say that's the year Halloween died for you, what does that mean? Did you stop
No,
dressing up?
because I think this is around the time when parents got very they became more fearful, I guess,
Mm.
of people doing things to kids. Because
Yeah,
I really think in the last 15 years or so, the growth of these trunk or treat type events have only grown. I know in my parents' neighborhood, I used to, when I was a kid, I used to stay out to like midnight with my friends getting candy, but now Halloween ends at like 8 o'clock and there's only like a few trick-or-treaters to come by and the parents are always with them. And so I think a lot of our parents are just more afraid of things happening to the kids.
yeah.
And Halloween has really shifted to an adult. It's not a holiday, but I'm gonna call it a holiday anyway. Adult holiday, because I don't have statistics, but I'm guessing more adults in America celebrate Halloween than kids. I think there are
Now,
more. Yeah,
Maybe not
now.
maybe not when we were kids.
No, but now, because I think it's more acceptable, and people like
It's
to
become
dress up
like a
more.
sexy adult holiday now.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
make fun of all those sexy costumes, and
Yeah.
it's yeah, when we were young, though, maybe I'm not maybe I'm just remembering this with rose-colored glasses, so tell me in the chat what you think, but I seem to remember that Halloween was more of a thing for kids. Maybe that's because I was a kid and everything I was doing was geared towards me, but it just didn't seem like, and I also grew up in a very small town, less than 1,000 people, so it was about, kids dressing up, trick or treat. It wasn't about, as Adam says, slutty girls.
It's like, what won't they make a slutty costume of?
Okay, speaking of which, I have to tell you about my faux pas at Halloween.
Uh-oh.
Since you told a story, I'll tell a quick one.
All right.
So I mentioned this whole content house I was at, hanging out with these really wickedly funny comedians, and even like maybe especially when off camera, there's just this sort of people cracking jokes and roasting each other, and this, you're in this environment where you're, even if you're not a comic, you're trying to be a little more on your toes with the jokes and like going in on people a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I got stuck in Orlando an extra night, came back on Halloween, had just gotten home from the airport, had just unpacked, and this is our first Halloween in this big old haunted house in our new town, which is very small. Again, like 1,000 people, where I grew up. And we started getting trick-or-treaters, and we're, oh my goodness. So ran to the store. I'd totally forgotten because I came in late, got a bunch of candy, came home, made up a costume, a clown, weird clown costume. We both just threw on something. I have lots of costumes in the house. It's fine. You can come up with a last minute costume. So it was so fun though, because we're on the porch, and this is the most kids I've ever gotten. I finally live in one of those towns where it's idyllic and people trust each other. I mean, we had over 50 kids come, and some of them were walking with their parents, and more often than not, it would be like a pickup truck would roll up, and then a bunch of kids would get off the back. Multiple times that happened, and then they would go to the next house. And so anyway, this was my faux pas. Uh, Two teenagers came to the house towards the end, and I was tired. I was still in that joke cracking mood, and I had been with the little kids, the smaller, younger kids all night. Oh, what are you? Like guessing what they were. Are you a pirate? Are you Jasmine? And this two kids, two teenagers, I think they were brother and sister. The boy, he wasn't wearing any costume. He just had a cowboy hat on. I was like, "What are you, a cowboy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess so." And I'm like, "Well, that's not even a costume. You're not even you just put a cowboy hat on. That's like an everyday thing here in this neighborhood." And he's like, "Well." And then I looked at his sister and I was like, "What are you, a whore?" She was dressed like a whore.
Savage girl.
I didn't mean, my husband was like, afterwards, he was like, "Keri, so you called that 15-year-old a whore?" I was like, "No, no, no. I asked if she was dressed like one." She was. She was
Not
dressed like
saying you're a whore, but you look
she
like
had
one.
this lace bustier. Well, why is a 15-year-old wearing that? But she was like, "No, I was trying to be Cupid." I'm like, "Okay."
Whorish Cupid.
She's too young to be dressing like that. Anyway, but yeah,
Oh.
Mikey says she spent too much time with me. I was with those comedians all weekend, and then afterwards I felt so bad because as they were walking away, their brother was laughing, the cowboy. And he was like, "Well, that escalated quickly." It's like, oh, I felt like Anthony was like, "Harry, that's mean." I'm like, "Oh God, I wasn't even."
I love it.
Anyway, faux pas, and then we were laughing because I was thinking, "Oh, we were joking, like, 10 years from now, those teenagers are gonna be like, 'Remember when we went to that old lady's house and she called you a whore at Halloween?'"
Maybe you prevented the girl from becoming a whore. You never know.
Maybe. That's what I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe next Halloween she'll
Yeah.
be a little more covered up.
I always wonder what prostitutes wear on Halloween. If everyone else is dressed like a prostitute, like, do they just like wear turtlenecks and just normal?
Probably. That's probably, like, fun for them to be like, "Ah, out of my work clothes."
'Cause it's so hard to tell who's a prostitute, who's not. And then I'm like, what am I supposed to do with all this cash?
So silly. You're a silly man. Okay, so we're caught up on Halloween. Uh, man, there was something else I was gonna ask you. I really am, like, just getting back into the swing of things after this week, man. What was it? What else was I gonna ask you? Oh, we did pull up some Halloweens, controversial costumes that you should not wear, some finger wagging from the media. Do you guys wanna see that?
If this is my league, these are like legitimately like kind of offensive costumes. So be warned.
Okay, first, let's read the finger wagging one, though.
Okay.
Now, I apologize, I did have ad block, so I got rid of all the ovens, but then ad block free trial expired, and I have to go in and buy and I am gonna buy it, but you'll notice that the ovens are back.
All
So
right.
sorry. Look at this, the throbbing ovens on the right. Apologies, guys. Uh, okay, Yahoo News. 5 controversial Halloween costumes you should absolutely avoid in 2022. This is the finger wagging. There are a lot of these every year from social justice people who tell you what you can and can't wear. So here we go. You may have noticed a lot of really bad things have happened this year. And if one were so inclined, well, let's just say 2022 has provided plenty of fodder for offensive Halloween costume ideas for the politically incorrect. Sure, you might be able to score some laughs with your oh so clever costume, but if you think a little harder, you may just come to the conclusion that you've made a terrible mistake. Now, look at this. They threatened canceling you. In an age where anyone can go viral and get canceled at a moment's notice, do you really want to roll those dice for a costume? We'll drop the preamble and get straight to it. Here are 5 controversial Halloween costumes you should probably not dress as in 2022. Number 1, Jeffrey Dahmer. Are you surprised by this one? I'm a little surprised by this.
Yeah. Who would be offended at that?
I mean, it's Halloween, it's creepy, he's a serial killer. I'm pretty sure Jeffrey Dahmer costumes have existed for a while now. In fact,
Yeah.
uh they mention here Ryan Murphy's Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. In that series, which I did watch, they even they show a part where he gets a letter when he's in prison from someone who says that they were wearing him as a Halloween costume that year. So it's like, this has happened for a while. So anyway, it says recently it seems a lot of folks want to be Dahmer for Halloween. Search for Dahmer costumes ticked up tremendously. We suggest you don't do it. Even eBay suggested.
Okay, Yahoo.
Jeffrey Dahmer Halloween costume sales are banned on eBay.
What?
Okay, so unless you completely missed the moral of the story, you should know that going as Dahmer is in very poor taste. Yeah, but here's the thing they don't get. You're also mocking him. I mean, I agree that there's way too much. I mean, I was started the show talking about innocence fraud and all this, where people trying to get murderers out of prison and they turn these people into martyrs. And there is this gross phenomenon of making celebrities out of murderers. I agree. But at the same time, people take shots at horrible figures through humor. This is why some of the stuff you've showed me, Mystery Chris, involving Hitler, you're not supposed to talk about on YouTube, where they make fun of him and make him the butt of the joke, like that happens. Am I
Right.
wrong?
Yeah, and the thing is, people go as what's popular, and Dahmer is very popular right now. So it would make sense that people would go as that because it's what everyone's talking about right now. So this idea that everyone who's dressed as Dahmer is like celebrating him and thinking he's such a great guy is ridiculous. And I had no idea that eBay had banned the sale of that. Like, I wonder if they have they been doing this for other things. I'm sure they. Well, no, actually, I wonder if they still allow the sale of like Nazi stuff. They probably do,
They probably do.
but
It's
that's just weird.
it's probably just if they get a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. The next one, Queen Elizabeth. What? You can't dress as the queen?
Yeah. What? I mean, I'm sure there's people who are going as zombie Queen Elizabeth, but you can't just do regular alive Queen Elizabeth.
I mean, what? Yeah, it was 96 years in the making, but Queen Elizabeth finally passed away in September of this year. But unless you've been living under a rock, you might already know that. So, is it funny or not to attend a Halloween celebration dressed as the beloved constitutional monarch? Well, that depends entirely on how you feel about British imperialism. We can't deny that the Queen lived a long life with quiet integrity, but we also can't deny that the extended royal family is kind of a joke here in the United States. Um, they say that British people are pissed that folks outside the Commonwealth are making light of her death. It's just, again, they seem to be just arbitrarily picking things that would make a popular costume this year and saying,
Yeah.
"Better not do it." What if you like you said? Are you laughing at this one?
Yeah.
Read this one.
Oh, so monkeypox. Another year, another pandemic, and another opportunity for a politically incorrect Halloween costume. We talked about going out as COVID-19 for Halloween once before. We'll reiterate. It wasn't funny then, and it will never be. That said, monkeypox is even less funny to dress up as Halloween, especially considering an outsized impact on the LGBTQ. How do I know this is coming?
Yeah,
Community. That said,
yeah.
no, you're not going to make fun of folks suffering from a painful and comfortable viral disease. Do better.
Really? You can't make fun of monkeypox? Really? And you're right. Here it is. Here's the social justice aspect. LGBTQ community. They really want to tie it to that now.
So how? But what is the costume as monkeypox though? Like, are they dressed up as a monkey with like pox sores or something? Like, I don't. They don't actually show a picture of how someone would dress up as monkeypox. I want to see that
Well,
picture.
I found it.
Okay.
Hold on. Uh, okay, this is part of another Yahoo article saying, please, this is BuzzFeed, please, I am literally on my knees begging you, do not wear any of these Halloween costumes this year. And they have a picture of monkeypox. Okay, hold on. Let me switch to this one. This is so stupid.
There's so many ideas in my head.
They
Most of
always do these. And you know what's funny, especially for hanging out with comics, like comedians have the kind of mind, and I think a lot of people do, and if they're not comedians, they have the kind of mind where when you tell them don't do something, like don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the costumes not to wear. It's like it's really hard not to want to buy one of these costumes.
Yeah, they're just gonna make more people. It's a
Just
Streisand effect. Just more people
yeah.
want to do it.
So this is an article. Please, the BuzzFeed. Please, I'm literally on my knees begging you, do not wear any of these Halloween costumes this year. Number one, they have the Queen, and then it's so funny. Supposedly they don't want you to wear these, but then they put pictures of them here. Like this is what you
Don't
would
totally
wear.
wear these awesome costumes. That would be bad. They're available at
Please,
Amazon.com.
yeah. Please don't wear these. And here's the kind of shoes you would need, and gloves, and COVID. That looks like a pizza, but
Gross, rotten pizza. Ugh.
don't do
I'm
COVID.
disappointed by that costume. I expected better.
The vaccine. Don't go as the vaccine.
What?
Okay.
There's so many jokes I can make. I'm not gonna.
Well, first of all,
I can make so many jokes,
this is
but I'm not
this
gonna do
is
it.
the sexy vaccine. Remember the
Ugh.
sexy costumes thing. um okay, this is a costume for a quote anti-vaxxer. Okay.
So,
This person is
um,
wearing a bathrobe and they have things pinned to the bathrobe that say
I can't. I
what?
can't, Gary. It's like, how long has it been? And there's still people that it just, it's like I still see people with masks going out. And to be fair, listen, there are some people that I know, like maybe they have some health issues and stuff. And it's not that, they want to, protect themselves with masks. It's just that there's still people who believe that these things are giving as much protection as what we were told, when now it's admitted that they don't. That's just the sad thing. It's like, how are people rationalizing these things that can't be rationalized?
I don't know. And they should honestly, they should put COVID cult member on here, but they didn't.
I want to see those costumes. There's got to be some people who've got some anti COVID regime costumes.
Oh my goodness, look at number 5. Especially don't go as an anti-vaxxer with a dead child. I can't believe I had to type that.
Ugh.
What? Going to a costume party tonight as Karen and her non-vaccinated child. Mm.
These people.
Wow.
So
Okay, this is the monkeypox.
Okay, well, I kind of like the thinking. The execution is not quite there, so I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Also, that doesn't even look like a monkey. That looks like an ape. I mean, I believe isn't that supposed to be a chimpanzee?
Kind of looks like Ben Stiller. Can I say that?
Yes, you can say that. That's not a monkey costume, guys. Aren't you a news agency? That's an ape.
They're all the same.
No, they're not. One of my pet peeves. This is just from from college days. I can't stand when people call apes monkeys. It's like calling a toad a frog. It's like, come on. It's not. No. Does that make me annoying? Probably. Okay. Or any kind of plague doctor. I mean, great. This would be a great plague doctor is one of the most culturally relevant costumes at this time. And no matter what your opinion is on the COVID restrictions. Okay, and then we have
I love it more. I love the gun. That really adds so much to that. This guy's going to the final round.
This was my dog Tiger's costume this year.
He was a Mexican.
He is a Mexican. This goes for all years, but I have to mention it because somehow it's still happening. Don't go as a race. Like, please don't go as a racist caricature of a Mexican person. But then they show you what to wear.
That's awesome.
This begs the question, have you ever thought of going as a racist caricature of a black person? Like, what if you just went, it's like...
I went as Flavor Flav once. As a yeah, boy!
I will accept that answer.
All right.
The judges accept that answer. Okay. And do not, under any circumstances, wear a Native American headdress, but they don't have a picture here. They have an advertisement. Okay. And this should go without saying, but you should probably stay away from going as a character outside of your race. And if you do, try not to change your skin color with makeup. And they did not put a picture of Justin Trudeau here in blackface. They could have. There's lots of them. Right?
But to me, there's a big difference. When you're like putting like makeup on, darky skin, like something like that, to me it's obviously about making fun of black people. It's like when they put on the over the top, like super charcoal black makeup, like that's obviously meant to mock black people. But something like this, it's like, because then Megyn Kelly, she got in trouble just for talking about like putting on brown / blackface years ago. And I think she got let go, whatever program she was a part of that time.
Yeah.
But Joy Behar is still on The View, so that's cool.
Let's see. Did I miss anything while I was looking at these? Any super chats? No. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with both, and I'm where are we? Here we are. Okay. I agree with you, actually. People have gotten so sensitive around it now. It's like I wouldn't even. But if we'd forgotten that, it could just be. You could put this makeup on just as part of a character, not to be like, oh, this is what black people are like. But that's something we'll never, ever, like now it's just sort of, you don't touch it ever. Right. But a black person could put whiteface on and we could admit, oh, that's part of a funny costume. Like White Chicks, the movie. Oh, that's a funny costume.
I think Marlon Wayans recently said that he doesn't think they could make White Chicks today.
Oh,
it's like, well, I think the white part, yeah, that's fine. But a man dressing up as a woman, though, do you think that can still be done?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, nobody cares if they put on whiteface, but dressing like a woman, they might say, here's the thing, they wouldn't say it's offensive to women. They'd say it's offensive to trans women,
Yes. Yes. Totally agree.
right? Playboy Bunny's on here for some reason, which I don't get. Something happened this year with
What?
that. I don't know. Please don't go as anything related to the Will Smith Oscars.
What? What? Why? That's hilarious.
Why not? And I repeat, do not go as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Why not? Again,
What?
it's prime for mockery. Like it's just that's what Halloween is. It's
So
silly.
anything popular that's not Trump related, you should
Don't
go as.
go, yeah, don't go as anything related to Roe v. Wade or abortion. Oh no. Oh, that's gross.
Ugh.
And don't wear a Handmaid's Tale costume. That hits a little too close.
I would think they'd be wanting more people to go as this. No?
Oh my God. No, because they want to reserve it for what they pretend it's serious, right? They can't have you
People
wearing
have
it
like
as
you can't have fun while wearing it. I got
yeah, you can't have fun with it because we really are in a handmaid's dystopia, guys. It's really happening.
so
Don't
dumb.
wear it as a costume because it's not a joke, right? It's really happening, guys. Stay away from politicians like Ted Cruz and Mitch McConnell, even if you're making fun of them. Really?
Oh, well, they actually say you can go as Ted Cruz, really? Or shouldn't
And
go, I
do
should say.
not go as Donald Trump, they say.
Oh, really? That's a surprise. Okay, I thought they would have said you should, because he's not in the White House now. You think they'd want to like gloat, but I guess they're afraid of 2024, and they just don't want to
No,
popularize that.
I heard someone recently, again, I had too many conversations this weekend, so I can't remember who it was, but somebody was saying this leftist person got mad at them for it was something like this. It was for Trump being a costume, being you would think it would be the opposite. Like they would oh, it was for a Trump dog toy. That they got upset because they had a dog toy that was like a political dog toy and it had Trump on
Mhm.
it. And it was sort of like you're offended by like you're a leftist. Like I would think you would not mind a dog chewing on Trump, but
Right.
they were like, I don't want to see him at all, ever.
So are they going to get mad at Saturday Night Live? Because Saturday Night Live just keeps going back to the bread and butter of making fun of Trump every
They keep going
cold
back to that
opening.
well, don't they?
Yeah, it's like every show. They just like have a cold opening of Trump or something Trump related. And I'm like, he's not even president. What
Yeah.
the hell's wrong with you?
They can't it's like they can't even see they're so triggered by him. They've developed such a psychological attachment to hating him
Mhm.
that they can't even see him being mocked. You're right. I don't know how they watch Saturday Night Live.
I'm surprised they didn't put in Alec Baldwin in there.
Do not make fun of Alec Baldwin. Shoot
Yeah,
him.
I'm
Come
serious. I'm
on.
surprised they didn't
Oh
do
my
that.
god. Right? Ugh, I keep forgetting. He killed that woman. It's not
Oh,
just
Alec
shooting
Baldwin.
her, like, she died.
But Keri, yeah, you have to understand that the gun fired itself.
Yeah. Okay, so on that first list, the other ones they had on there were Vladimir Putin and, Kim Jong Un. So that's not that. Whatever. Let's go to your link of the most
Okay.
now are these truly I haven't seen this yet. Yeah, are they truly offensive?
Yes. They're very offensive. You want to take the chance, but pretty offensive, and it's a little outdated. The links from like 7 or 8 years ago, so some of the references are outdated, but they are very offensive. So, warning to people who get.
You mean actually offensive and not leftist
Yeah, they're
offensive.
actually offensive.
Okay.
Some of them, I should say.
I haven't seen this, guys. I'll see these with you. Okay.
Like that's
Uh,
not that's funny.
this year's most offensive Halloween costumes are tasteless. This is from vocal.media. We really don't know what people are thinking. So this is from 5 years ago. Okay, yeah. Cultural appropriation. Quote, not a good look, it says. Okay. Was she culturally appropriating the Amish here? What is that? Pilgrims. It's a
She's
pilgrim.
pilgrim, right? Yeah.
Okay, KKK costumes. Okay, here's maybe it's a controversial opinion. I think it's funny because you're
Record scratch.
Look, even Even this lady's laughing because it's
Yeah, see, everyone's friends.
because it's mocking them. This is okay. This goes to the heart of why you asked why don't they want you wearing the handmaid's costume for Halloween? Because they view that as something real and not to be made light of and not to be made fun of. They put it in this special sacred category. Don't wear the handmaid's costume for Halloween just for our serious protest marches, right? It's a serious thing. That's the same thing with the KKK robes. I don't want these to be saved in some sacred space where people just wear them in legit seriousness. I want them to be mocked. I think wearing them at Halloween makes fun of them. That's what you take the power away from them, to borrow their phrase about power. Like you're laughing at them. They're down here when you do this. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Look at
Yeah.
that lady. She's like, this is freaking hysterical.
Having a good time.
Do you think it's funny or is it just me?
I don't think it's offensive. I mean, like if there's more to the joke, sure, but I was just, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not offended. It's just,
not offended. Okay. I don't even get why anyone would think that's a good idea. Okay, we just told you. Make no mistake, if you wear this garbage, expect to be treated like garbage. It's a costume though. You're making fun of them. Okay, never mind. Rihanna and Chris Brown costumes.
yeah. Remember this? Just a few years, he punched her or something.
Oh,
You
because
remember
he
that?
beat her up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
It
I
gets
mean,
worse.
it's in poor taste. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
in poor taste. But oh, this guy's so smarmy though with his moral. You know what's funny? Making fun of the cast of the Jersey Shore. You know what's not funny? Domestic violence. Okay. It is in poor taste, I agree. Homeless people.
What? I mean, those costumes could be better, but still, there's humor. You can find humor in that.
I Let's look at these fishnet. Let's just point out yet again, sexy homeless people. It's always the women will
Always gotta make it like
find, yeah, they'll turn it, always make it a sexy, like sexy ketchup bottle, sexy.
I I want to see a sexy sanitation worker. Like that'd be hot and stinky.
Some lady's probably done that. Sanitation worker from here until the short shorts, and then just like this lady, the fishnet stockings. Okay. Gross.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
gross.
agree. Tasteless. I can't even look at that. Move on. Uh,
see now he's got the racist face. That's
yeah,
come on. That's racist.
this is what I would call blackface, yes.
Yes.
Offensive blackface, yes. Trayvon Martin. Oh my god. Yeah, that's tasteless. Um, Cecil the Lion's Killer. What's this about?
I don't remember that story.
I don't either. This is from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So somebody in the chat might know what that is. Suicide bomber.
That's funny.
That is okay. Again, once again, you're taking the sting out of, what is it? You're taking a punch at this.
Yeah. In fact, it's a kid. That's because it's funny.
You're diffusing, huh? You like the pun? You're diffusing things with humor.
Yeah.
Something awful. Okay. And Frank. Well, how is that offensive if
It's
she's
not.
the
It's not
hero?
making fun of her. Like if she was a zombie again. Yeah, but I mean,
Why? This one I completely disagree with. Why is that offensive? Undoubtedly one of the most offensive Halloween costumes to ever hit stores. This Anne Frank costume was pulled off store shelves due to sheer insensitivity. It shows the victims of the Holocaust. We want to know why this was even designed in the first place. Because she's a role model. You know, little children also dress up as their role models, not just things to make fun of. Like, it's mostly adults that do the humorous costumes and take the piss out of people and take the piss out of suicide bombers. It's mostly adults that do that. Kids usually are dressing up as their heroes. That's why I saw all these little kids come to my door dressed as like Jasmine, Disney characters they admire, um, Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I mean, and she's a real life heroine. Why shouldn't kids want to dress as her? This
I
bothers me.
don't know. Like, they gotta find something to complain about.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what would have been on this list offensive. I think he's gone now, but he was here earlier. Mike Harlow was gonna dress as Anne Frankenstein. That is offensive. That's a me. That's a funny pun, but, I mean, that would make sense to be on this list. Come on. But just dressing as her is like a hero, she's a hero. James Holmes. Okay, this must have been around the time that he killed all those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
After
don't
Dark.
know. Sometimes things are too soon. Like,
But there's nothing fun about it. You got to still put some fun in
exactly.
it.
There's nothing fun about it.
It's just dark. Like,
Yeah. Just dark. Caitlyn Jenner. Okay. Read Mystery Chris, read what this person wrote.
Speaking as a non-binary person, this is really not okay. Trans folk have to deal with all sorts of discrimination every day. The last thing they need to feel is the hurt of seeing people making fun of their struggles during Halloween.
Grow some thicker non-binary skin. Okay? If you think that you're gonna in some special category where no Harlow gets this all the time with people, mostly non-binaries, saying, "Hey, you can't make fun of people like, Dylan Mulvaney. You can't. Why? Because he's trans." That's stupid. You can't they're not in some special protected class where nobody gets to take the piss out of you. Give me a break. Like, grow some thicker skin. Oh my goodness. You did the voice perfectly, by the way, Chris. Whatever this is, dead women don't say no. Ooh, gross. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty offensive. Sexy Donald Trump. What did I tell you?
They had to.
What did I tell you? Women can make anything a sexy Halloween costume. Sexy glass of grape juice. They could do somebody's done it. They put short shorts on and fishnet tights, sexy glass of grape juice. They could do it. Sexy Donald Trump.
I just love they had to put this in the article. Like they're so obsessed. They had both articles had Donald Trump in it. Both. Oh, who's next? Oh,
Hillary Clinton in a prison outfit. That's I don't know. It's pretty funny.
Not really funny. I mean, I'm all for making fun of Hillary, but it could be more creative than that.
You could do sexy Hillary Clinton.
Ugh. Just go with Hillary Clinton. Don't change anything.
Kevin goes sexy Hillary Clinton. Yes, it can be done. I guarantee you. You name something. There's a woman who's worn that as a sexy Halloween costume. And Therese just says, "Oh my goodness." Okay. The Twin Towers. Oh, yeah, poor taste. I think this is just I know again what I said about blowing off steam, taking the piss out of something, but who's the target here? Who are you taking the piss out of? The towers? Why? The people died in them? I don't get it. It's not like making fun of the Klan by dressing as them as a costume. It's not like making fun of a politician or a serial killer or someone. It's who are you making fun of here?
It's just for the shock. It's a shock value.
Yeah.
A lot of people who just want the shock costume, just like the guy when it's the killer mass shooter guy.
Look at this. Look at this explosions they have on their costume. By the way, look at these two women. Look what they tried to do. Look at these short.
Still sexy, yeah.
Still sexy.
Yeah.
Sexy Twin Towers is what they're doing. Okay. I agree with you, non-binary person. That one's offensive to me. Anorexia. Oh, that's kind of funny. I just like puns. I really like.
Still sexy, eh?
I really like puns. Yeah, sexy eating disorder is what this costume is.
It might be the last one, I think. Yep. Think before you dress this year. Do you think anybody like read this article and was like, well, I was going to go as something offensive, but I think I'm going to change?
You know what these pieces are? Emily McKay, the non-binary Emily McKay wrote this, and just like those other articles where they show you how to do the costume, she wrote this and then was like, "Yes, this is going to get a lot of shares." And she's in a way that she probably can't acknowledge grateful that these people dress this way, so she could do this article about it. That's
Yeah.
what I think.
Yep.
That's a great list of recommendations.
Yeah.
Jean Ellis is here. Hi, Jean. She says you'd have to be very inventive to get Hillary sexy. Short shorts and some fishnets. That's
Why am I picturing her actually in fishnets?
yeah, they could do it. Did I miss anything? Let's see. Just quickly, CJ, thank you for becoming a new YouTube member. We do have YouTube
All
memberships
right.
now, so I appreciate it, dude. Tyler Turducken. I'm still laughing from the Holmes impression. I should have gone as Elizabeth
You
Holmes.
should have. Just do it anyway.
I can't really do. I wish I could do impressions. I know some people are great at impressions. Christy Mayer's great at impressions. I wish I could do different accents and stuff. I can't really for some reason.
Really? There's got to be at least one you can do, right?
I can do Elizabeth Holmes. I have a naturally deeper. I have an alto voice, I guess, and so it's not that hard for me to drop into the lower register. She like the way she does. I'm just going to take, but also because she does something with her mouth where it's like she talks like that to make it deeper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going. So all we need is with one drop of blood. She's talking in the front of her mouth. That's the only one I can do. What about Bill and fishnets? I saw a painting that was sort of like that in the what's his face's house, the Pizzagate guy.
Oh yeah, there was that. He was like in a dress or something, wasn't he?
The blue
Something like
dress.
that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was weird.
Yeah.
Which.
Okay, you sent me something else. Are we gonna watch this also?
Real quick, yeah, it's a short video. This is just I'm sure a lot of people have seen this, but this was a Halloween decoration someone put out in their yard, based on Stranger Things, and I don't know what the character is because I only saw like 2 episodes of Stranger Things, but it was a really interesting decoration. But apparently, some neighbors, for whatever reason, don't like it.
Stranger Things Halloween display shut down in Plainfield, Illinois over neighbors' concerns. Let's see. Oh, can barely.
Things just got stranger for the suburban Plainfield Halloween display of the same name after complaints from a lone neighbor forced the creators of the house haunt to close it for now.
Everyone seemed okay with it until they weren't.
Paying homage to the popular Netflix series, Appel dreamed up the spooky seasonal setup displayed in their front yard. It replicates a scene from the show and features a lifelike mannequin dressed as the character Max Mayfield appearing to hover in midair.
It was just really cool. We saw it on TikTok. We just thought like it was so cool that you couldn't see like any wires or anything.
The family says the video of the display they posted on TikTok not only got more than 14 million views, with everyone wondering what's keeping Max afloat, but also some unwanted attention from one neighbor who at first they said was okay with their display when they asked for permission to put it up.
It's upsetting, to be told like, we support you, we're behind you, we understand why you're doing this, and to have that blow up in your faces.
Possibly angered by the crowds and the popularity of the display, the family says that one neighbor has accused them of bringing negative attention to the neighborhood, endangering the community's children, and making the neighborhood a target of possible home invasions because of all the spectators. Other people who live here don't agree.
It's just all families coming out to see such an amazing setup.
The Stranger Things Halloween display remains shuttered for now. The family says they never intended to cause a fuss. They were just hoping to have some fun. Tomorrow they plan on going and talking with city officials, trying to figure out what they need to do to reopen the display. Reporting from Plainfield, Evelyn Holmes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, so but how did they get her suspended like that?
I think it's magnets.
Okay.
That's what I think.
What do you mean?
The only way. Well, if you do you reverse the magnets, and so they repel each other. That's
So
the only way I could think about.
Magnets on the ground.
Yeah, that's the only way I could think how they could, because like I said, there's no strings or anything propping it up, and I don't know how else you would do that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want them to tell us how they did it. Look at the chat. Bungalow Logic. It's always that one neighbor, isn't it?
Yeah, they're so jealous.
Why are there Karens everywhere again? Lighten up, Francis. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, this is the kind of thing, just like at Christmas when people drive from all over to see the amazing Christmas displays. And this part of Texas, you see a lot of decorations, both for Christmas and Halloween. And that's just fun, like for people to come and see it. One person spoiling it.
Yeah, losers. And they may have put it back up. I don't know. I thought I saw some title that said, and the people who made that display put it back up. But I don't know. I'd have to dig in and see if it lasted all the way to Halloween.
Wow. Well, thanks for showing me that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
I don't know if I have any more things to show you. I'm just, you did boost my spirits. Thank you.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm glad you had a happy Halloween watching entertainment.
That's fine.
Sorry. Oh, you know, you're just tired and you're like, I could use it. It's like that. Anyway, I have no
Yeah.
reason to complain. Life is good. Yesterday, you guys, if you haven't already, I'm going to plug Anthony's channel. Mystery Chris knows Anthony. He'll let me do this. My husband, Anthony Garcia Music on YouTube. He's got a new music video coming out. He's got one he just put out that that I was in. Did you see it? Did I send it to you?
No, I don't think you did.
Did we play it? I mean, I can play it without a copyright strike because it's his.
What if he does copyright? I mean, what's that? It's funny.
It's kind of a creepy video. Let's see. Hold
Huh.
on. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but I'll show it to you. Oh, yeah. So I love the recent video with you and Tiger. Okay, we'll put this one up. And the thing is, so this is his first one. And then yesterday we shot some of the scenes for a new one for his new song. He's still got some scenes to shoot. He's been working on it for a while. Are we done? Kevin says, is it overing? No, we're going to watch something quickly, part of something. Here we go. So this is fun being in stuff like this. Okay. Can you see it?
Yep. Looking good already.
So you haven't seen this yet?
No, I haven't.
Great.
Hey, I know that person.
That was me.
The creeks and the rivers are frozen this time of year, and I'm sitting on the bank waiting for the boatman to come take me back to the land of the living. I'm gone. We're making bonfires down in.
I just had to highlight this comment. Two Sisters and Some Yarn says, I have a girl crush on the violinist. She is so good. Her name is Megan Burson. She's also a great human being as well as being a great violinist. She's awesome. And there's this amazing shot of her in this you're about to see that's this sort of continuous shot. The videographer's amazing too. Okay.
Bodega Bay, down in the hollowed out coves, drinking red wine and watching the tide rolling down to old Mexico. I'm gone. Oh, Santa Rosa. Took the winding roads out to the cliffs, past Alfred Hitchcock's church, the hollowed out redwood trees stacked by the graveyard, looking over the ocean. I'm gone. Oh, Santa Rosa.
I love that.
Tiger. He looks shocked, just scared. Like, what? Like,
I had to do a close up on him because
extreme close up.
he's got a big head now. He's always in a music video. He was on set yesterday asking for green M&Ms in his dressing room. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Tiger. Anyway.
Rivers are frozen this time of year, and I'm sitting on the bank waiting for the boatman to come take me back to the land of the living. I'm gone.
That was great, Keri. Wow.
Wasn't it? Didn't you
Yeah,
think so?
that was really shot really well and complimented the music. It was great as always. Man. I love the
know.
transitions. Like, how long did it take to shoot all that?
He just came over for a couple of days. Demetrius Manos, that's his name. He's amazing and he's very quick. I love that kind of director who, because when I worked in my old career, you know, I worked with a lot of just really funny people. I worked and some of them were very viral YouTube comedians, but the shoots would take days and we would reshoot things over and like many takes of scenes, right? And this guy is just sort of, I don't know what you would call it, just very organic. He's sort of like, okay, I want to get a shot of you like coming down the stairs and pushing him and going outside. And then he'll shoot it like once, maybe twice, and be like, perfect, that's it, let's move on. Like, what? But it works. And he's got this sort of guerrilla style. And then those drones, those are his. Yeah. Somebody was like, who did the drone work? He did. And he's just very talented. And he was the videographer yesterday as well. And we had Anthony had a stilt walker and a fire dancer there, and just got some amazing shots of her and the band at this old Western town. Like we drove all the way down to near Uvalde, actually. It was a long drive, and did a lot of it yesterday. There's still some stuff to be done, but that was fun. It's like hanging out with these different, you know, musicians, and everybody's in these fun costumes. And Tiger was there. He had the best time. There were horses there and chickens and lots of cats. Yeah.
Awesome. And your hat was looking great in the video too. I like that, 1920s style hat.
Yeah. Oh, he says, I love directors like that, though it puts pressure on the editor, Kevin says. Yes, this guy happens to be the videographer and the editor.
Oh, wow.
So he's doing it all. He's just very talented. Yeah, that was fun. You know, it's just, somebody was laughing. Teresa's saying, you have video babe now, but you didn't have any scenes of you rolling around on car hoods. I'm like, yeah, they cut all the scenes. I rolled around on the hood of my truck and they cut it out.
Nobody was filming. Keri just did.
Hey guys, fall off the hood. Sexy car hood rolling. So stupid. Anyway, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us. If you have any requests or questions, hit us up. Otherwise, I think we will be wrapping up, even though it's a little early. Hi, Davina. Good to see you. Oh, I meant to tell you, Mr. Chris, you would have had fun in the content house if for no other reason than Anthony Cumia each night would just watch. He likes to watch 80s and 90s movies
Oh,
and
yeah.
just laugh. Yeah, and it's like just hanging out with friends, you know what I mean? That kind of feel. And so
Yeah.
every time I'd walk by, I'd see he'd be watching like Ghostbusters or Back to the Future, and then Back to the Future 2. And what's his name was in it? The mayor of Goldie.
Oh, yeah. Goldie Wilson.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of fun 80s and 90s stuff. I thought you would really dig hanging out with him.
Yeah, Anthony's hilarious.
He is. He's so funny. Okay. I think that's it. Pretty white pilled. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. That's what we want. There's so much negativity. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. Just go out, meet people. One last thing I'll say about white pilling. I read this other survey this week that said since in the past 10 to 20 years, the number of people who report that they don't have even one good friend has skyrocketed. It's doubled, it's climbing, it's something crazy. And there's more men saying that than women, but men and women are both. That percentage of people who say they don't have even one good friend is increasing. And I've been thinking about that in the background of my mind a little bit about what that means and why that's happening. There's probably a lot of different things contributing to that. But when I posted about it, I saw some of the people in the comments were saying, well, I lost all my friends because I'm not woke, which is freaking sad. And I know what that's like. Or that their church, somebody said my church became woke and that's where all my friends were. Oh, that sucks. People said they had to leave their job or leave their town to find new job opportunities because they didn't get the jab, which sucks. And then other people were just talking about how, the last 2 years of isolation and not going out as much. And some people were saying the amount of time they spend online, and other people were saying bad experiences with people and just kind of closing oneself off. And so here's something I would say. If you are active on social media and you make friends on social media, like I have the past few years, you can, if there are opportunities for you to meet them in person, like at a meetup, like one of these Geeks and Gamers things, if we do a knitting one or a deprogrammed one in the future, if there's a way to meet up with some of these people, I would say do it if you can, because it's really nice to connect with people online who allow you to be yourself without disavowing you because of wrongthink. But it's even nicer to put a face with a name and to meet so many people like that and have that real sense of in-person community or fellowship. So
Yeah, it's easy to believe that, there's not as many people who think like you. In reality, there are a lot of people. It's just a matter of trying to find and connect with them. So something I've always appreciated about you and I and our friendship, because I can't really talk about the things I do with you with other friends, because a lot of friends, even if they're more tolerant of me talking about, anti woke or politics, whatever, a lot of it still goes over their head and there's kind of a blank stare. I'm like, I'm just talking to a wall at this point. So
they're like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, like I'm speaking Chinese or something. I'm like, it's not that complicated what I'm saying. But yeah, there's a lot of great people. And so.
And you and I met, this is a great example. We met at a meetup.
That's true. We did.
Done.
Yeah.
Meeting people from we didn't know each other online before that, but we met each other at a Cernovich meetup of all places. So go out and meet people. That's it. Okay. Bungalow Logic says, "Y'all are my parasocial homies. Hail." Good. That's a great word. Hail. Okay. Tomorrow there is going to be a kerfuffle break. Back to our regularly scheduled program. There will be a kerfuffle break at noon Central. I'm not sure who the guest is tomorrow yet. It might just be me. We'll figure it out. There's a couple possibilities. Monday, it's going to be me and Blocked Magazines, Neil James, and we're going to be getting skinny in the knitting world. Tuesday, I'm going to be back on Politically Incorrect Knitters, which, by the way, somebody in the chat said, haha, I found you through the Politically Incorrect Knitters too. Well, welcome. I'll be back on that show on Tuesday. And then I think Tuesday night, I'm going to be on Comics Division's live stream, election live stream. So you guys stay safe out there on election day.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Stay safe out there. Yeah. And then I have a really interesting interview coming out this week also. So there's a few things. We're back to our regularly scheduled program. It's good to be back hanging out with you guys. Therese, good to see your face and your name. You guys have a good night. You have a good night, Mystery Chris. Any final words?
Don't watch Halloween. It's awful. I mean, you can watch it, but it's not a good movie.
We didn't even recommend favorite scary movies. We can do that another time.
No. Event Horizon. There.
Oh gosh, that I will say one thing for you. Event Horizon has one of the most wicked, like evil scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Oh yeah, was it the video where they're showing what happened to the previous crew?
Yes.
They're like sodomizing each other, and one of them rips out his eyes, holds it up to the camera. Do you see? Do you see?
I think there's probably nothing more terrifying, just this intense, gross feeling that I've ever seen on film ever. Like I can't watch that movie again because that scene bothered me. It sat with me. It bothered me so much. Like you're looking into evil. Like they really captured it in a few seconds. Like this is evil. Oh.
That's like when I watched the Jeff Goldblum Fly movie. I couldn't eat meatloaf for a year after I saw that movie because the texture of meatloaf just reminded me of his skin, like peeling off and pus coming out.
No.
Good times.
No. Gross. So gross. Oh, we ended it on such a gross note. Hey, I'm gonna roll the ad and then we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later. Okay.
Bye.
Ew. Bye. Thank you to today's sponsor, the Church on the Square of Georgetown, Texas, which happens to be my church. My church is no longer allowed to advertise on Facebook, which is unfortunate because that's how I and a lot of other church members originally found them. They've been told that they violate community standards. There's no details there of what that means, but you guys know the score. Anyway, since they're not allowed to advertise, I'm here to give them a plug. You can find them online at thechurchonthesquare.org. You can also find videos of all the sermons and some other kinds of content on their YouTube page at Church on the Square. You can also join us. If you happen to be in the Georgetown, Texas area, we meet every Sunday at Ken's Guitars, that's Kenz, Ken's Guitars, right on the Georgetown Square. We meet outside, right on the square. Sometimes, if the weather's nice, you might find us there. You might find us outside in front of Ken's. But if you're local, I hope to see you.